Time in the boatyard gives you a lot of time to ask yourself the big questions in life. I wonder where we'll be in 5 years. I wonder how many more countries we can add to Jetty's have visited list. When will our new catamaran finally be done? But mostly, whose idea was it to get into another boat project?
You guys might...
You got this.
I got this.
I
got this. Me. Like we mentioned in previous video, while we are out of the water in the boatyard, we have to prioritize everything really well. We mentioned we're going to do the really important stuff that we can only do out of the water, like the through holes, the running gear, and all that stuff, and the bottom paint, of course. But we're also going to prep and paint basically the entire outside of the boat. And you might be wondering, like, why the heck are we going to worry about the looks of the outside of the boat right now when maybe we should be worrying about the really important stuff like the engines and everything in the engine room and the systems on board?
And the reason being, a lot of the engine work and all the system stuff can be done in the water. One of the main requirements that you guys saw in the last video, the marina kicked us out because the boat didn't look pretty. A lot of marinas around here, they require your boat to look nice, even have a survey.
It just gives us more options when your boat looks nice. It's kind of silly, but it's maybe a lesson for you guys, like if you're taking on an old project or you have an older boat. We see this cruising as well. Like, the nicer boats look that are anchored out somewhere,
it makes the surroundings, and then people enjoy the space.
Yeah, the less hassle they get, the less hassle other cruisers get, even if their boats do look nice. So as silly as it is for a boat just to look pretty,
there's meaning behind, like, there's reasons we're starting there first.
Yeah, it's kind of important.
So in order to open up more opportunities for us, go in the water, have the opportunity to go to different marinas, we are making it look pretty, and that is what we're starting with, and that requires a lot of sanding.
Now, we're not going to neglect the engines. The engines will be solid and running and everything before we put the boat back into the water. Everything that needs to be done out of the water will be checked and will be taken care of. The other thing we have to do while we're prepping and before we paint the boat is basically stop any water intrusion into the boat, into the deck, and then just fix anything like structural, any leaks that basically requires fairing or fiberglassing. We're also going to be doing a lot of that in this video, such as basically rebuilding all the scuppers that are falling apart.
Painting sounds so simple, making a boat pretty sounds so simple, but there's so many things that lead into it. Example, stopping all the leaks, fairings, fiberglassing, blah, 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 prepping, sanding, blah, blah, blah. So the thing that's going to take the most time, we're starting with first. Okay, so I have been making really good progress on sanding the hull. I would say about 2/3 of the hull is complete, except for the areas that neither one of us can reach. But now I'm at a standstill because I got to do the back, but I can't sand the back until all of the sticker and all of the sticker glue is removed, because if you try to sand away a sticker, you will get the glue within the like fiberglass and paint, and then if you try to paint over it, paint will not stick to it, so it's got to be removed. I removed the sticker part yesterday, the vinyl part, but now it's still like covered in glue. So today's project is trying to get all the glue out. I remember on Adrenaline I found one glue remover that I liked way better than all the rest, but I don't remember which one worked better, and we only have one. So it's going to be today Goo Gone. Is this the one that works the best? I can't remember. Acetone would probably work best, but we don't have that right now either. So here we go.
How's it going? Is it working?
With a lot of elbow grease. So like it looks like it's off, but there's still like a whole nother layer under there.
We'll have to get some acetone, or we could try that surface prep stuff. Let's see if that works.
Sure.
Okay.
You're sad. Oh! You needed away from that, huh? You needed away from that evil vacuum, eh? Evil.
How'd that other stuff work?
Work better, but glue is like the hardest thing in the world to get off.
Yeah. Is it all off?
I think so. Like, I did the Goo Gone and I used a scraper and that like didn't work at all. And then I used
your pre-prep thing with a rag and a scraper, and like I think I get everything off because like so much comes off, and then like you look at it and then you touch it and you're like, it's not clean. Like so much stuff came off, but it's not done.
You want to try denatured alcohol?
Had to do it like 50 times, but now it's not sticky.
Alright, well, if there's any on it and you sand, it's just going to
I'm
sand
aware.
it into the glass.
That's why I just spent all that time to get it
You're
off.
the best.
I continued sanding the hull, and Billy began to tackle the scuppers.
I ripped out the old scuppers that were falling apart and delaminated and certainly allowing some water intrusion into the boat. I removed all the loose and wet debris in the tow rail around the scuppers and actually let them dry out for a few weeks. Once the area was all dried out and I cleaned it up the best I could, I started to rebuild the shape of the structures using Total Fair, the 2-part epoxy fairing compound. There was a lot of sanding by hand to get the shape exactly right, but once I finally did, I cleaned the area up again really well, and I used Total Boat's 3-part high-performance epoxy with some 1708 glass to add some strong structure to the scuppers. From there, it was a little more sanding, a little more cleaning, then adding some more fairing compound, and then some more sanding, just to make sure the scuppers were nice and smooth and integrated back into the boat seamlessly. Some of the gel coat on this boat was damaged so badly that a lot of spider cracks were forming in it. This rail on the side of the hull was one of those spots that was the worst on the whole boat. So I cleaned it up really well, even took a Dremel to some of the deeper cracks and Dremeled them out, cleaned everything up and mixed some more of the Total Boat Total Fair up and just faired in all the cracks.
I was still sanding.
On this particular rail, I even put some fiberglass over it to secure the whole area, make sure it was structurally sound. And put some more fairing compound on that and then sanded it down nice and smooth.
And in case you were wondering what I was doing while Billy was doing this, sanding. Still sanding. Things are getting exciting around here, changed locations, and got a new tool.
I was just about to wrap up one fiberglass project when Sierra found a new one.
Oh yeah, that was moist over there.
I was sanding and I was trying to like pick out any of the loose stuff because anything that was like cracked and loose we were gonna pick out and then fair. So I started picking and then picking kept going and then the picking turned into super wet stuff. So I had to call Billy to make sure I didn't get in trouble for picking too far. He picked way more than I did.
So this is the only section of tow rail that it's like this, right? The rest is pretty good. So we'll just have to kind of open this up a little, let it dry out really good, kind of fair it smooth, and then re-glass over it.
To be completely honest, we're pleasantly surprised that this is the first time we're seeing this issue because, I mean, what do you expect when you buy a boat for $100?
I mean, that should be pretty good. Well, I'm gonna have to grind down some more too and stuff, so probably will get a little more.
And just like that, with a little bit more grinding, fiberglassing, and don't forget sanding, we have one more smooth surface ready for paint.
What has probably just been a few seconds or a minute or two to you guys have been days for us. And we're taking a break right this very second in the middle of the day from sanding and fairing and sanding.
And sanding some more.
My dad sent us this big box of sandpaper and sanders and extension cord and some tools, so thanks, Dad.
Thank you, Mr. Sweezy. Best sander ever. Also, where has this Dremel sander tool been all my life? Really?
The multi-tool
The multi-tool?
with a finishing sander head.
You know, that would have come in major handy doing Adrenaline's floors, FYI.
We also have to thank our family friend Gary Max, because that Bosch sander is actually his. My dad had it, he sent it to us, so we'll send it up to Gary when we're done. So thanks, Gary. Our goal in the near future is to paint the hull. So we're just trying to get as much done towards that step as possible. It's going to be a little bit of a compromise, trying to chip out some old gel coat voids and get into some gel coat cracks and stuff like that, and just fair it all up and make it nice and solid so we won't get any of that print through when we do paint the hull. And at the same time, honestly, the weather's not looking great to paint the hull. Like, we want some solid temperatures above 65 degrees. It's looking like temperatures are just about to hit 65 during the middle of the day, so I don't even know if we're going to be able to paint it before in the next couple weeks. I don't know. I hope we'll be able to paint it sometime soon. Either way, we're not ready yet, so we're just trying to get towards that goal. One of the things that I just started doing today was I'm gonna clean up and fair some more later. In the meantime, while we have the sanders going and everything like that, we got these plastic strip discs that go on our little angle grinder, and I use them for our running gear and prop and all that, just to strip all the paint and crud off of them. And they work really well because they don't eat into the metal, but they really strip stuff nicely. And we have these old bronze port lights that have been completely painted over, so I've just been using these and this little dust shroud that I bought from Home Depot attached to the vacuum, and I'm just stripping down the port lights.
Wait, I thought I was gonna do that.
You can do it.
You started already?
Yeah.
That's instant gratification. That's the kind of jobs I like. Seriously.
It's a little bit tricky with the dust shroud. Take some practice, right?
Don't give me that. You can't use this tool.
You can use it. I'm just telling you. It's going to be challenging. You want me to show you how to do it? Okay. Are we in over our heads yet?
I think we started over our heads.
Next time on Tula's Endless Summer. We continue life on the hard. An old port light gets the better of Billy, and we bring them back to their original shine. We finally start painting the hull, and this cool old trawler finally gets the look she deserves. See you next time!